Hello guys. So, I wanted to do a quick little video, or a quick video, a video about how I first got into Balisong flipping and which knives I flipped and how it went and stuff. Quite frankly, I still have every single knife I have ever flipped in my collection. So, yeah, let's start on a trip on Cringe Town. I'm gonna try to keep my phone as steady as I can. I'm recording this on my phone because I don't have a proper camera, so it's probably going to be really shaky, but I'm going to try my best here, okay? So I first started off about 3 years ago when I was in 5th grade in school, I think. I was what was I, about 16 then. And I was playing a lot of Counter-Strike back then. Yeah, I know, I became a flipper because of Counter-Strike. Because I remember I wanted a knife skin. They're like these skins you can get for your knives to make them look cooler. And one of the skins was a butterfly knife. And I was like, hey, that's pretty damn cool. So I looked up on YouTube, saw butterfly knives, and saw like, oh, real life tricks with the butterfly knife. And I was like, oh, that's fucking cool. And I looked up and shit and saw all these tricks and flipping videos. And then I got on videos of like Balisong and all that shit. And I was like, whoa, that's fucking awesome. I want to learn how to do that. And so I did. I was like, Dad, I want a butterfly knife. And he's like, oh, I still have one because I live in Belgium and they're illegal here. But my dad still had some from them before they were illegal, and that was this one. So this is the first butterfly knife I ever owned and I ever flipped. So I basically learned like everything on this. I learned basic openings, quick openings, full twirl, behind the 8 ball, cherry picker, helix, all that stuff I learned on this thing. And as you can see, after many drops, it broke. Just the handles just broke and gave way. But I still keep it because, you know, it's a memory. I don't know what this says on it. That's that. And then after that, after this one broke, luckily my dad had another one, which is this one. And, you know, it's about the same one. I flipped the same. I kept flipping for another while, and that one eventually broke as well. Because you can see it's broken off, but it was duct taped together. I actually flipped it duct taped together for like ages before I moved on to like a different one, because it was all I had at the time. So after those two were gone, my dad went on a trip to Spain, and then he brought back these two because they were legal there. So it's like awesome. So that's where we got these two. And this one is actually not that bad. I still quite like it. It was like 10 euros or something, but it flips fairly okay. I used to not flip it at all. I quite hate it because the pivots kept coming out. Like every few minutes of flipping, it turned to shit, and I had to tighten these down. But eventually, way later along the line, oops, way later along the line, got on some Loctite, and with Loctite it was way better. And now I can just flip it, and it still flips pretty damn good. It's like nice. And this one, the pivots are just way too tight to properly flip. It's not smooth at all. You can't flip it, and the handles, look at that, yeah. So I never flipped this one, just kind of had it as a collector's piece, I suppose. So then I got onto like Amazon trainers. I had this one, brought it into school every day and flipped it. Even bent, I think. Yeah, it's a piece of shit. But yeah, it does the trick, I suppose. And then I discovered the H-gate, and that's when it all went bad. And I bought a stainless steel 42 clone. And this piece of shit was just horrible. Legit, like, I flipped for ages and thought like, oh, this is the best shit ever, this is an amazing knife, whoa, look at me. I've got like a 42 clone, as you can see the handles touch, and the play is like, it was horrible, but it was the best thing I ever touched back then. Like, yeah, so I just keep it for nostalgia's sake as well. I flipped it for ages, like I got so much better once I got that one. And then I got this on this ski trip somewhere. It's a piece of shit, honestly. Like, it's way too small, but hey, another Balisong, a small little novelty knife. Then I went to France and I bought this thing here. This is way too heavy to even flip, but it looks cool, so it's another one to the collection. And then I went, like, hey, I bought this on DHgate. This just arrived in the mail just fine. So why don't I buy more of there? And I went on like a clone buying spree and I got these 2 Spyderco clones. I got the Saberfly clone from the one, you know, clone piece of shit thing that I regret buying. I got this one that I regret buying, the Spiderfly. Also a clone piece of shit. But you know, at the time I was like, oh, these are so cool, oh my gosh. And then I went to Spain and I bought this little guy, which you can't even flip because the handles are so much more heavier than the blade, but you know, cool. So I had all these pieces of shit, all the money I wasted on these and shit, and they're all pretty much trash and horrible. But at the time, in my head, mine was like all I could get, because I live in Belgium, or illegal here, I can't possibly ever get a real knife, can I? But that's when it all changed. I bought a 51. At first, I bought it stock, like a stock 51. And I still remember when I just got it, I used to hate it, because it was like, it felt really nice, like it was like an amazing knife, I was like, whoa. But it was so light, because I was used to flipping this thing, which is like a fucking heavyweight as hell, it was heavy as fuck. And then I suddenly had my 51, I just couldn't get used to it. But that was around the time when Flightanium suddenly dropped their V6 scales on their website, and I was like, oh my god, I need to get a set of these. And so I did. So I got Flightanium scales, put them on my 51, and I loved it. I flipped it for like a year or a year and a half until I got like a trainer blade on it. Because well, I can bring this in school, and I got bushings, and it made it even better. So this is for me like one of my favorite flippers all time, just because of like the nostalgia about it. And then we move on to, I got a 67, also stock. And this one is the first production one as well. I bought this of a guy of France. Oh yeah, this one I bought of like kolba.pl, which was like an authorized Benchmade dealer in Poland or something. And their entire website was in Polish, but I managed to order it by Google Translate and shit. And then they shipped it out, and they were like, oh, there's a chance it might not make it to the border. And I'm like, whatever, send it anyway. And I made it true, so yay. And this one came from France, like stock. I was like, cool. I got a 67 now, but I want scales. And then Flightanium dropped the V2 scales not shortly after. Because these used to be rare as fuck at first. I was like, oh damn, fuck yes, I'm getting those. So I bought those. And I really didn't like it. Like, I hated it. I never flipped it because the latch made it so horrible. And I can't get the latch off because I can't take it apart. I'll get it fixed soon. I'm waiting for new hardware because I stripped the screws and everything and all that shit, you know. Valley noobs. But I'm gonna get it fixed up soon because now it has like loads of blade drip and I don't want to ruin my nice first production blade because I don't know if you'll be able to see it, but you'll definitely not be able to see it, maybe. I don't know. There's like scratches on there and shit. I want to keep the blade nice because it's the first production model. But I like with a rubber or like, you know, one of these things. I keep that around the latch. The latch doesn't flop around, and that made such a significant difference. And ever since I did that, I loved it. It's my favorite flipper right now. And it sucks because I don't want to flip it because I don't want to damage the blade because of the first production model thing. So yeah, I can't wait till I get it fixed eventually. So after I got my 67, I bought a 42. I was like, these are so hyped about. I have to own a 42. It's a 42 Springer. It's in really good condition. Basically, no play for a 42. I bought this from a guy in France as well. There's a gold annotation on it. Looks quite nice. I don't like gold as much, but I was like, hey, it's a 42. At the time, I thought the price was pretty good. I got it for like 450. I suppose for the condition that it was in, it was a good price. Now I've got like blade drop on it and stuff, but I don't really mind. I flip this one loads. And I loved it. The 42 is a great knife. It's like not... I prefer this one, and I think I prefer this one too just because I don't like the weight on it as much, but it's a good knife. But it pinches you and shit every now and then, so you know. It's not probably not worth the money compared to different knives, but well. And then I finally got Replicant. When it was like a drop, not the most recent drop, but the drop before, I think. And I managed to get a guy that bought like 3 of them. to help out the community. So like, yo, hook me up, and he sent me in 2 packages from the US, and then I got my PR's replicant. Because like ever since I got my 51, I was like, and started learning more about the community and shit, and was like, yeah, fuck clones, never getting a clone again. So, you know, this is where I started bettering my life and getting good ones. And that's kind of how I got into flipping, and which knives I got, and when, and how, and the timeline about stuff. So, you know, I think everyone, well, most people that started flipping when they were like underage will be able to relate to the bunch of clones on my table right here before they went to like the decent real stuff. I certainly can, because, I mean, yeah, fuck clones. These are so much better. But at the time, you know. So what are you guys' stories about how you got into flipping, which knives you got, when and why and how? Let me know in the comments. It was Meech. Peace out.